Howdy, 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 ho. So, here we are. Hey JFix, hey TFN, howdy neighbors. How do you guys do? So, let me turn on the music a little bit. How's everything sounding? Is the music okay and the audio as well? I think I hear the music a bit much. Yeah, thanks James. I'm happy to be streaming again. So far it's been really fun, actually, the streaming stuff, so really looking forward to doing more of that. Thinking about trying my luck on that unknown SNES I have. How do you mean unknown? Is it like knockoff Super Nintendo or something? Or an unknown fault? Ooh, where's that tool I got? I wanted to show you guys that tool. I have got something new in the mail. I just need to see where I put it. I think I put it in here. No, I did not. Okay, I'll have to see where I put it because I don't see it right now. I remember putting it somewhere. Just don't remember where that somewhere is. Sometimes I'm really unorganized, you guys. I don't know how you guys are, but I'll put something somewhere and then I forget. Because I even wanted to show you guys. That's crazy. Here it is. There we go. So, seller said something about weird output. Ah, okay, so you don't know what the exact fault is or something. So that's going to be a fun little exercise, I bet. This is the tool I got, guys. I don't know if you guys already know this. It is, and I want to show you the funny writing on it as well. It's the Electron King of the Tool. Where am I? Standard production. It's an IDC clamping tool. And I actually got this because of the Xbox when we worked on this last week. I think if you saw it, you would see that the cable that I have, the IDE cable, the 80 pin or the 80 wire one, rather, is actually, because these cables are made for normal PCs and not for Xboxes, they are usually kind of awkward to bend and fold and whatnot and get everything in place. And so I got to thinking, I have a whole bunch of these 80 wire cables lying around. And I was thinking, can I not just take this apart, this connector here, and then put it on like the right location where I want it, where I need to have it basically for the Xbox, so that I can then fold it and actually put it in the Xbox the right way, so to say. So that I can even, you know, with a normal standard 45 centimeter length cable, can easily fit that in the console, so to say, and get things working. And yeah, that's what I did. So I got this clamping tool. It's basically just, you know, you could use a vise, I think, as well. You don't necessarily need like a clamping tool for this. But yeah, with this, it makes things a lot easier. I could also demo this actually, if you guys want, if you're interested. Because like I said, I got like, I don't know, 10, 15 or even more of these 80 wire cables lying around. I just remembered I forgot to set up the light. Let me just give you guys a bit better lighting. There we go. Awesome. Wanted to save it for a live stream, but who knows when that will be with my constant internet problems. Oh man, TFN. It's a couple more days, right? That you basically gave them, and then hopefully they have to do something or they're going to be sued or something. Krista F, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you as well. Glad to have you all. ITFN, lol. Now I was thinking why I don't see James in here, but on screen was on Top Chat. Yeah, I get this a lot as well. I've now actually remembered, I think. No, I did not. I have it on Top Chat in here, so I want live chat as well. There we go. Fancy. Yes, 10th. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of weird with YouTube. I don't know why they, yeah, I guess I understand why they do it, but it's kind of annoying that I always have to switch to live, because even if I'm watching, yeah, exactly, live chat should be default. I agree. Because usually I'm like reading along in chat when I'm looking somebody else who's streaming, and then there's like conversation going on and I'm like, wait, what did I miss? I think I missed something. And then I remember, no, it's on Top Chat. So I did not miss, well, I did miss it, but because YouTube didn't show me. So, oh well. But yeah, this is, I think this is pretty cool, actually. I'm really happy with this tool. This is the first one that I made, and I've tried like 2 or 3 after that. And so it's pretty cool. You can just, I kind of figured out how I want to fold this. So it just kind of goes like this in there. And then I think it folds on top like this. And the only awkward bend is this one at the end here, because you do need this to connect basically this way. And so you have to kind of fold this one back like so. But then it works just fine. So pretty happy with that. Let me just take this out real quick, because I think the first thing that I'm going to do today is just to put XBlast OS on the Xbox again, because we're going to need that to test the RAM chips. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do today. Again, step 2, or attempt number 2, I guess. Trying to install some RAM chips in here. Let's see if we actually get to that this time. Although I think we should, because the software issues have now been fixed. Let's see if I could just hook this up real quick. There we go. There. And just actually, I'll leave this out like so. Much easier that way. And what I think I'll do is just take this out of the hard drive before I put the IDE cable in, because I kind of found that this feels really fragile, this StarTech adapter. Like I don't want to put too much pressure on this because I feel like I'm bending the PCB. I don't want that to break because this is of course the more expensive adapter. So haven't really found a great way to work with that. And this is on there pretty tight. So I think this is a bit safer if I just take it out and then plug it into the hard drive rather than the other way around. Right, hang on, where is it? There we go. That's plugged in. Yeah, and then it just kind of sits flat, just like this. So I think that looks pretty good. Nice fit, nice snug fit. So pretty happy with that. So, yo Dutchman, yo Sloth Tech in the house, welcome. First like, thank you very much, Sloth. Nice. Please remember to like. Nice. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna turn on the commands again. I have made like a couple changes. Wait, where do I go for that? I have to go over here. Wait, hang on. This is where it's at. Let's see if it now works. There we go. So it's gonna be a bit slower than last time because I think I'm checking every 5 seconds for messages now. But hopefully that means it gets all the way through the stream and I don't run out of whatever they're called, like tokens or whatever that is. So, hi Sloth, TFM Repairs, yo. Nice, welcome guys. Welcome to the stream, glad to have you here. Let's see if we can get an Xbox upgraded today. That would be really freaking awesome. So, I think this is now connected and ready to be powered on. So let me hook up the video output. Like so. The power's already in. I guess I'll need a network cable because I'm going to FTP into it. Yep, that should be it, I think. So overhead, or at least the USB capture card. Still turns on, that's great news. Sitting here taking notes for mine. Awesome. Learn from my mistakes though. The other hard drive, oh, that's an interesting one as well. I don't know if you guys remember last week when I put SurBIOS on the flash chip there. I forgot to put the right files on the hard drive. Do you guys remember? I so want that overhead camera. Nice. Yeah. No, but if you guys remember, so we were working on that Xbox, putting SurBIOS on there, on this one, SurBIOS on there. And then because I didn't put the right files on there, I locked myself out of the hard drive. And when I, actually, no, I did remember to copy over the EEPROM.bin that I found on the hard drive before over to my PC so that if I would ever need to, I could unlock the hard drive. That was the idea at least. And then when I locked myself out with the installation of SurBIOS, it didn't work to unlock actually. I could try all the master passwords, even the EEPROM bin, so the actual key that I got off of the Xbox, nothing worked to unlock the hard drive. And I got to thinking, maybe it's because the key on the hard drive is really different than the one that I have. But I also got to thinking this is a really cheap USB adapter. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the USB adapter. And that got me into kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a rabbit hole of basically trying to get Fat Explorer working on a PC that I have that still has IDE cables in there. But that PC is so old that of course it's too slow. It's like a dual core PC. And so I was thinking, you know what? I'll install Windows XP. Actually, it already had Windows XP on there, so I'll install Fat Explorer on that. But of course, the newest Fat Explorer doesn't work, so I had to install 2.5, yada, yada, yada. Basically, that wouldn't work. And I had to install, in the end, I think I installed Windows 7. That didn't work. And then in the end, I installed Windows 10, which took, I think, 15 minutes to boot. But long story short, in the end, it booted, it started up Fat Explorer. I used the EEPROM bin to unlock the hard drive. and it actually unlocked. What the heck? I think I spent like 5 hours, 6 hours trying to get that hard drive unlocked. But yeah, apparently now it's unlocked. So I think I will still try to basically get it ready so I can put it back in the Xbox if I ever wanted to. It just has like a whole bunch of games on there. I didn't want to basically copy them over from anywhere else. And it was a fun exercise. I was like, really, did I lock myself out of the hard drive? No. I want to see if I can get myself back in. And so in the end I did. So now I know this USB adapter, this is the one right here, El Cheapo. This is not gonna allow you to unlock an Xbox hard drive, basically. We might have to talk about some of those RAM chips if those happen to work. Sure, you bet. Upgraded to 4K DSLR with a 14 to 140 millimeter zoom. I have no idea about lenses, to be honest. Like 14 to 140, is that a lot? It sounds like a lot. Which reminds me, I think Sloth, you wanted to know which kit this was, right? With the overhead camera. If you still want to know, let me know. Then I will make sure to post that after this live stream, so you can get that information. Yeah, cool. So this is running. We're in XBMC. Let me just switch to the large scene and grab a controller. And then we're going to have to set things up so that I can FTP into here. And there we go. So where are we at? We need to log into this account. And then I think I want to go to options, which is black. There we go. Settings. Let's see, network. What do we have here? Okay, this is kind of in the way. Let me see if I can just hide myself real quick, or I just resize this. And there we go. So, what do we have? Network. I don't seem to be able to do anything. Oh, wait, nope. There we go. Use an HTTP internet connection bandwidth limitation DNS suffix. Well, there is not a whole lot of, there we go. FTP, username, FATX limiter, Discord. I don't want Discord. So why does this not let me set any network settings? Is that how it's supposed to be? That doesn't seem right. Primary DNS, whatnot, SMB, auto detect system, what does that mean? Services. That is interesting. How do I set network up under XBMC then? This is XBMC, right? At least I think so. So, XBMC for gamers, how to set up network for local FTP. Yep. Press the black button, settings, this set to DHCP. So I'm like trying to find that setting for DHCP, but I don't see it anywhere. It seems to be disabled at the moment. Yep. Auto detection, SMB, WNS. Why is all this disabled? Isn't that weird? Enter value. Seems incorrect. I'm just going to try to reboot this real quick. I don't remember if I put the network cable in there after I booted it or before. So maybe that was part of the issue. Okay, we're back in. Okay, now it's the black one again. Let's go down to settings, network. It's funny that it mentions Discord at the top. I don't know why. Use an HTTP proxy server to access the internet. I don't even want to access the internet. Yet it does not allow me to do anything. Chris, do you happen to know anything about this? Find the IP. Boop, boop, boop. In XBMC for gamers, all the network options are disabled. Yo, Dave's Unbranded, welcome. No, what? Sorry. So I'm trying to deal with this. I'm trying to set up FTP so that I can FTP into this. Basically, I want to set up a local network. So I have to connect, what is it called? Like set up the IP address and subnet mask, because I basically have it connected with a network cable directly to my PC. But for some reason, all of this is disabled. So I don't know how I'm gonna set any of this up. Because if I look here, yeah, there it says assignment default dashboard. What's that about? I don't know what that is. Downloader. We have something like this. Maybe system. General. Gosh, this is all really small. Power saving, front LED. Nothing about network. Yeah, never done it that way. I plug them into the network, not direct to a PC. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I don't think can I do that? I don't think I can do that here. But I know that there is supposed to be. Yeah, then it's all auto. Damn. Let's see if I can do it this way. Oh wow, that's in German. Funny. Network. Ah, look at that. That's good. Okay, yeah, then we do it this way. So manual IP, there we go. 192. 1, 6, 8, and I think it was 1, and then I think I used something like 50 or something. How do I go to done? Yep, done. Subnet, and that was supposed to be 255. Dot 255. Dot 255. Dot 0. Fertig. Gateway is fine. So then, okay, is that it? Do I just go back? Okay. Yep. That looks good. DNS, I think I leave it as is, right? I think so anyway. Okay, cool. So then go back, and then I guess I can just turn it off and on again. I assume that FTP does not work within the stock dashboard. Is there a field called assignment in network? Ooh, I don't know. I find that Windows firewall is often an issue for me. Well, it did work before though. Same way basically, but before we flashed with SirBIOS. So I'm not sure if that was the cause of it, but let's see. Okay, but I think I'll go switch to the PC and then try FileZilla. Where is it? There we go. And then here it is, 1.50. Yeah, it does not connect because I think because it's in the stock dashboard. So I'm just going to turn it off and on again. Let's see. Are we going to get FTP? So we're in here. Not seeing anything yet. Connection timed out. Try again. Not really. What do we get now? So I need to go back. Not reboot. Settings. And then network. So what does it say now? Yeah, we don't get an IP address. That's super weird. Yeah, it says assignment, but then I can't change it. JFix. Or James. I was saying JFix. Internet connection bandwidth limitation off. It's like all of these are weirdly disabled. So configure in the add user profile or disable the login screen. What? Configure in the add user profile or disable the login screen. Are you kidding me? So we have to go back or what? How do I do this? How do I... Context menu, view settings. I'm just going to reboot real quick. All right, guys, we're just exploring. It's kind of funny that we're kind of locked out. So do I go to settings here, maybe? Ah, okay. And now? Come on, come on. Oh, come on. Ah, oh, perfect. Yes. Perfect. Now we have it. Okay. So, that is too funny. You have to be in the main screen basically before you sign into a profile. So where you have like add user, apparently that's where you're supposed to do this configuration. What does that say? Backspace and done. Kind of a janky UI, but if it works, it works. 5.0. There we go. Done. We already have this. That's good. And I think, I don't remember what that was supposed to be. Default gateway. Okay. Default gateway, yes, and that is your PC's IP. And I don't remember what my PC's IP was. How do I find that out again? Network, Ethernet, and that one is 1.1. Okay. So we're then going to have to set this to 1.1. Perfect. Okay. Yep. I think that's it. So we go back. I wonder if it now already works then. Let's see. Connection refused by server. I think that's already better. So it might just be a username password situation then. When you log in, profile look like doesn't have permissions or something. Yeah, I think that was it. Well, basically, yeah, it's weird because when you're on the add user screen, you're not even logged in at all. And apparently that's where you're supposed to set the network settings. So it's a little bit confusing, to be honest. Then we have, it's Xbox. Yeah, I thought that was what I had set in here. So let me just try it again then. Wait, I'll switch back here so you guys can see. 192.168.1.50 is what I had for the Xbox. And then you said Xbox, right? Wait, that was too many characters. There. Okay, click connect. Come on, come on. Connection refused. Why? Why? I do remember I saw FTP somewhere. 1 of 1. None. Okay, interesting. So how do you even set it? Okay. Back. How do you go backspace? X. I'll just set it to Xbox. X, B, O, and then X. Done. And then auto fat limit. So this has none. I can't even set a username? I guess not. There we go, and then back. So no username apparently? What? Does that work? No. Abort, and please continue. That is bizarre. So let me restart the username, and pass. Yeah. Squish, welcome. Hello. How do you do? We're just battling software at the moment. Kind of annoying. I'm hoping that we get out of this situation pretty quick so that we can actually get to the hardware part. There we go. XP MC for gamers. Oh wait, first check. Maybe it actually just works. So main scene, PC. So we had 192.168, 150, Xbox, Quick Connect. Yes! Okay, hey, there we go. Finally, we're in. Cool. Then, now we can actually put the apps in there. So I'll go up a couple folders. Where did I put them? This was SirBIOS, and then I should have, here it is, XBlast. So create the folder, XBlast OS. Copy that over and rename that to, what was it? Default.xpe, I think. Oh, they're just called different here. Default XPE, default XPE. Sure. Okay, that should work. Okay. At last. TFN, too bad that doesn't work for a 360 with a corrupt dashboard. Do you mean FTP or what do you mean TFN? Let's see, I can switch to, I guess, this one. And then I'm gonna go out of this into here. FTP and transferring a file over. Yeah, I know, right? That is pretty useful, actually. Although I don't know, is it entirely not possible to FTP into an Xbox 360, or? To be honest, I actually don't know. This is XBlast OS. Let's see if it works. Yep, and it does. Sweet. Very, very sweet. Okay. Oh, whoa. What happened there? That is interesting. Is that supposed to happen? It seems like the app actually just crashed, sort of. I don't know if that's intended. Let's try that again. I don't know if you saw, but there were like weird glitches all over the place, so just want to make sure that that's not permanent or whatever. Okay, that's logging in. And then applications, back to XBlast. Yeah, and that does seem to just work. Okay. Yep. Cool. So then we're going to be able to do the 128. So this is what we're going to use in the end. So I think the next step is going to be we're going to actually install some RAM chips, and then we're going to use this 128 megabyte RAM test, I think, to actually test it. I wonder what it does if I do this now. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot. Don't know if that's the intention, but, or if it just takes a whole long period of time for it to do that. I actually do not know. Chris, do you happen to know? I've never done this, so I don't actually know how long this is supposed to take, or if it's supposed to do anything at all if we don't have any RAM installed. So should the XBlast OS 128 megabyte test do anything if you don't have more RAM installed? Let's see what the AI dreams up. No, it will not do anything if you don't have extra RAM chips physically installed. It will simply display no or fail in the empty RAM pads 5, 6, 7, and 8. The test, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Well, it kind of just seems to hang, though. That never arrives, or your console has a specific hardware issue. Well, I certainly don't hope so. I never do it this way. I have XBlast on Aladdin mod chip. Then you can press eject and it allows you to test each chip as you install them. Ooh, I was kind of hoping that I could still do the same with this. So I was kind of hoping that this would also report back like, okay, chips, what did it say? Like banks 1 through 4 are fine and 5 to 8 are not, or whatever. This way, all would have to be installed. Seriously, that would really suck. That would really suck. Or are you booting it directly as a flashable BIOS OS from a mod chip? No, this is the standalone XPE. So pretty pointless, as if it boots, it's normally working. I know. Explains exactly why the console is hanging. When you run XBlast as an application, your console is still running a background BIOS, like whatever. It has already assigned and locked down the system memory registers. When the app tries to bypass the active operating system to directly probe the hardware RAM, a kernel conflict occurs and the CPU instantly freezes. Need to use one of the alternative methods below. Ah, okay. Flash XBlast OS to your mod chip TSOP. Seriously? Open it, flash it to an open bank on your mod chip. Yeah, that's mod chip. Yes. I don't want to flash it to my TSOP, I guess. Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't like that though, because I don't want to install all the chips and then find out one of them was broken. And how are we even going to see? Aladdin is the only way to test one by one. So I do think, let me check real quick. I do think I have a mod chip. Let me see which one it is. It's this one. And this is supposed to be an Aladdin XT4032. But it comes in like small parts. So I don't know if I need to actually install it then. And does it matter if I already flash the TSOP? So I already have SirBIOS on the flash chip? No idea. So this is what I've got. Yes, you do. Nope, it's fine. Okay, perfect. Well, then maybe we're just going to try that. So I went through all this effort to install it directly on the thing, and now we can just use this. There we go. Look at that, guys. We have, let me switch to the overhead camera and then just zoom in. So this is what I've got. Here's the Aladdin, I guess, XT. You need to reprogram the mod chip with XBlast version for chips, not the XBE. Yeah. How am I going to reprogram this though? Can I do that through, like, I'm wondering how do I don't even know how to install this, to be honest. And let me just turn this off real quick. And then just take the cable out. And there we go. Oh, first the hard drive. There we go. Put that over there. Yeah, so I probably need to install that header or something. So, there and there. You guys are zoomed in too far. Sorry about that. Let's see. Push you guys over there. So you install it in boot into the XBE version of Blast and then flash the chip with the bin version. And so how does that work? Because I don't know if this actually comes pre-flashed or whatever, this mod chip. That would be interesting. Wait, so this is that. So I'm guessing that we're going to have to install this, what, like so or what? Or no, not like this, do we? Aladdin chip. So it's the Aladdin XT plus 2. They do some pre-flash with some old BIOS. Oh, so yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. They do come with some old BIOS sometimes. Aladdin XT plus 2. What do we need to do to install this thing? Xbox Original, Retro 6. So I'm going to switch to the PC so you guys can see. So we need to solder the header pins in the console going towards the bottom, removing the second pin. Okay, so we need to remove the second pin. Did they already do that? Nope. So we got to remove that one. Then we do not have a 1.6 board. Pass the D0 wire through a gap in the header pins to the other side of the board, and this gets soldered to the Aladdin chip in the next step. LPC rebuild, but this is only for the 1.6. So solder D0 on the mod chip to the D0 point for your specific console version. So we have 1.2 to 1.5. What? Are you kidding me? So we have to solder it to something like that? Guys, that's crazy. Okay, this is a bit more involved. Let's see though. I am going to start disassembling this Xbox already. So that's D0, then connect the mod chip up. Okay, Aladdin installed. Cool. So kind of like that, yep. And then next, wait, so this is it. That's basically all there is to it. Connect the mod chip up, and then you're good. Okay, well then it doesn't sound that bad. But what is this? This is just, okay, to rebuild it for the 1.6, then you have to do that. And what is this about? BT to ground? BT to ground. Solder BT to ground on the mod chip. What for? Interesting. And then 1.4, this is our alternate D0, so we're going to solder it to that. So what is this wire for? Is this because they have a 1.6 board and they rebuilt that thing? I guess so. No idea. Okay, well, I think next step, let's take this board out and see if we can find those points on the board itself. And then maybe I'll feel a little bit more confident about doing that. Whoops, don't forget the network card. Come on. Why is it not coming out? Ah, because I still have this in there. Oh, an idiot. There. You guys cannot see any of that. There we go. Okie dokes. So, what they're asking us to do is basically to reinstall this over here, or basically install this over here. Now I need to see, we need to remove this one pin. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see. So they want us basically to install this little header here into here, this LPC. But as you can see, one of the holes right there does not exist. So there is a pin here that we then have to take out. So I'm just going to pull that one out. That would be this one. Let's see, there we go. That came out clean. And then that's going to allow us to just put it right in there, just like that. Perfect. So then I think next step is to just solder that in place. Let me get the soldering irons set up. I think I'll use this tip. And there we go. Then I'll turn on the fume extractor. And I'm going to do my best to hold this in place. Where are we? We're right there. If you guys can see, this is where it is. Let me know if this is zoomed in far enough. I can also use the microscope, but I think with the overhead camera, the picture is a little sharper. So, all right, Chris, thank you so much for the help again. I hope I can make this work and then I can tell you afterwards that it was a big success. We'll see how far we get, but this has been helpful so far in any case, so thank you. Okay, next step. Let's grab a little bit of flux. Put that right onto those pins. Grab a little bit of solder on the soldering iron. And see if I can get one or two pins soldered in place. Yep, that's fixed. So that's good. Let's see if I can move that a little bit so you guys don't see too much of a reflection. Yep, that seems halfway reasonable. And let's just put some solder onto these pins then. There we go. It doesn't look like it took it there. And that one. Now I do actually want to use the microscope here because I think I can just barely see it, but this will allow me. Wow, that's not 60 frames per second, is it? Don't know what's up with that. Not super smooth. I'll just put a little bit more there. There we go. Much better. Nice. This one needs a bit more. And there we go. Nope, a bit more flux. And there we go. Perfect. That one's on there. So, man, the weather here has been really, really warm. So today has been kind of a pain. I'm kind of looking forward to it cooling down again. How's it over at your place, for example, TFN? I think you mentioned it was really warm in the morning already. Here we go. Hot! No aircon in Germany? Not really. It's supposed to only be warm for a couple days a year, I guess, or a week a year or something. So, no aircon in my house in any case. 41.3 degrees top temperature. Are you kidding me, TFN? That's freaking warm. Go, Sean, and stop whining. Hello, Bernd. You are absolutely right, Bernd. I should stop whining. It's nice and warm. It's so nice and warm here. All right, perfect. I think this is looking pretty good. Nice. So now we have that header installed. I think the instructions said that we now need to use an alternative, oops, sorry about that. We need to use a bottom side D0.1.2, 1.3, and 1.5. Doesn't talk about the 1.4, which is kind of what's making me think that for the 1.4 you actually don't need this. We still need to do this one, by the way, the BT to ground. I just want to verify that we do not need anything else for the 1.4 board, because this is a 1.4 board. And since the instructions there don't mention the 1.4, I guess we don't need it, but I just want to verify that. So we can go back here, and so that was the Retro 6 installation instructions that we followed. Wonder if there is any other site that has instructions. No, I don't think so. Installation. The latest revision, the Aladdin XT Plus 2 plus a plus 4032 with a pin header is an all-purpose chip. Highly recommended for its simple installation. This is the model that is covered with this guide. Perfect. So, disassemble your Xbox and remove the motherboard. That we did. If the LPC port is filled in, you need to desolder the holes with a desolder pump or desoldering braid. We don't need that. We pulled out pin 4. Perfect. So if it's revision 1.5 or 1.6, you need to solder a wire from the edge of pin 2 to ground and pin 9 to a 3.3 volt, etc. But we don't have this, so I think it's fine. Insert the LPC header into the LPC port with the shorter side of the pins entering the holes. Make sure you have inserted it so that it is using pin 0 and 1. Temporarily tape it in place using electrical tape and flip the board over. On the underside of the motherboard, touch each pin in its hole to fill it with solder and attach the header in place. Yeah, we don't need this. You will need to follow the next steps for soldering depending on your motherboard revision. Refer to the motherboard diagram to see where your specific points are on different motherboards. It will help to dab a small amount of flux on the contact pins and soldering tip. Solder D0 on the motherboard to D0 on the chip. Okay, let's have a look. So we have Aladdin XT Plus, BT and D0 points only, fixed all the bugs from Aladdin XT, LPC flash memory support, etc, etc, etc. 1.3 to 1.5, H0. Before solder, after solder. Finished. Wow, guys, what are these instructions? Okay. Bottom side, D0 point 1.2, 1.3, and 1.5. 1.3 to 1.5. Must need BT for switch modes. Control 1.6 to 1.6, 1.0 to 1.6, L1 for HDD, BT 1.6, 1.3, mass, okay, D0 point. Okay, well, let's have a look at the bottom side. I'm kind of confused by this, to be honest, because this says